So now we're going to look at Judge. So if you haven't seen any of our breakdowns, we broke down Soto, we just broke down Otani, and now we're going to go to Judge. So we're hitting all the guys that are in this year's World Series. Nick's a huge Yankees fan as well. Bigger Soto fan than Judge, though.
Based on like swing mechanics, yes.
But if you're cheering for him, watching the game,
I of course want Judge to do well.
yeah, you want him
He
to do
hasn't
well.
been doing
You
too
don't,
well.
you don't, yeah, you don't care who hits well as long as if they got a Yankees uniform on, that's all you care about.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to look at Judge real quick. I'm just going to play this. So this is a homer right here. This pitch is kind of down and in. The ball that Judge absolutely destroys. He kills those pitches right there. And so we've broken down Judge's swing in the past. Like I have a bunch of videos online that break his swing down. And I think a lot of people know kind of how Judge's body works. What I want to talk about, and we talked about this a little bit with Soto, and then we're going to show you a heat map of the pitches he hits well and the pitches that he doesn't hit well, is that I want to get back to talking about, okay, understanding how your swing works. So Judge's swing, and we were talking about Soto earlier, Soto's got super flat swing. Judge has got much more of an uphill swing. And so depending on what your swing is like, because Judge gets uphill much more, right? He really, like, he's much more stacked kind of over his backside. He really works back behind the ball. So his barrel's going to get turned up more. Now, he's also, how big is he? 6'7"?
6'7", 6'8".
Yeah, 6'7", 6'8", almost probably, what, 280 maybe?
Yeah.
Like, he's high 200 pounds. So it makes sense for someone that big to be able to, you want to get locked in your swing. You want to be up through the ball more than maybe someone that isn't as big. So it makes sense for him. Now, with that comes a couple of things. One, probably going to swing and miss a little bit more, which he does. He swings and misses more. But he also swings and misses more at certain pitches. And when you look at where he slugs best, if your barrel is working up through the zone more, so if you're somebody that's going to be really uphill, well, then you're going to probably hit the ball really well when it's lower, and you're not going to hit the ball very well when it's up here, right? When it's higher. You can see this ball right here. Where's that ball? That ball's like right there. So he's got to be looking for balls more down, and he's got to be looking to spit at balls up. We talked earlier about Soto. He's doing the opposite. Soto's looking for the ball up, spitting on the ball down. We'll show you that in a second. But I think that's the main takeaway. A lot of people, listen, I think when it comes to core principles, like Judge does a lot of things really well. You can see
Yeah.
all of them. Like you can see how his back pocket's turned. You can see the coiling right here because you can see those ripples. You can see he's pulled back and you see his rear arms behind.
Yeah,
his
you can,
hands.
and if you start from the beginning, his hands start right on his face, and he needs to feel that big pullback so he can work behind himself. Because when he first started in the MLB, he swung straight down.
Yeah, he was very
straight down,
Yes.
and it couldn't work at all, and he couldn't hit anything. And that's why he needs to feel everything gets pulled back around him, behind him, to
Right.
feel more on plane.
Yes, 100%. So, I mean, that's a great point, which I didn't even think about mentioning, is that he's made huge swing changes. Because when he first came up, and even I go back and look at some of his Fresno State video, I think it is,
Yeah.
he was very much like this.
Yes.
And so he has worked to get his barrel to work more behind the ball and more up through the zone. Again, makes sense. Everyone wants to be up through the zone. Where he gets is sometimes he might get a little bit too much
too
up,
ups.
and so that's where he'll get in trouble. But everybody, some people are a little bit too steep, too much down. Some people are a little bit too much up. We want to all try to get slightly up, and then for someone that's huge like him, he again might want to be a little bit more up because yes, you might strike out a little bit more, but you're going to hit the ball in the air more, and he wants to hit the ball in the air because he's huge. He creates a ton of bat speed, and he can hit 50 home runs in a season. So that's key. But you made a really good point, right? Like he's got to get pulled back. He makes this move where he really gets coiled around his back leg. And then when it's time to swing and his right leg starts to turn, you're going to see his upper body starts to work back. Yeah, and the barrel gets turned back behind him. So all the core principles are there, which, again, those are the things that we really talk about and teach. And so now it's about, okay, what pitches does our swing hit best? Looking for those pitches, laying off the pitches that we don't. And we were talking earlier that when he gets to two strikes, right, because he hits the ball well down, but I
Yeah.
mean, and you watch him more, like they're going to probably try to attack him up with
Yeah,
two
that's where he needs
strikes.
to try and just feel flatter, not down, but just stay a little bit flatter.
Right. So like maybe I don't know what his two strike approach is, but like a two strike approach for him could be feel a little bit flatter, more above the ball, look from the top down. So look for something up and then work down, just because that's where they're probably going to
Going to
throw it.
attack him.
Yeah. So because if you don't, there's going to be a hole there, and you're going to have a tough time hitting it. So I'm going to pull up real quick some of those videos we were talking about. Okay, so here's a good look at Judge right here. So this is just slugging. Again, we showed this with Soto. You can see, you can see that he slugs a good amount of the zone, but it's really concentrated in. So he slugs better in, and he slugs obviously better down. The blue that you see, the two pitches that he struggles with is the fastball up, right? Because he's got that barrel that works really up through the zone. He's going to struggle here, and then most guys struggle here. But you're going to throw him a fastballs up and probably like sliders off the plate and hope that he chases.
Yeah.
But you cannot throw him really in. You look in here, like in there, down and in he does well. Up and in he even does okay up here. But if it's over the plate and it's up, no good. Again, the only pitches that really can get him out, slider down here, fastball's up. So understanding this, if you're a hitter and you don't have this information, but you videotape games, you journal after games, you write down what pitches you hit best. So I've really hit the ball well down today, or I really hit the ball well up today. You're just matching your thought process and your approach with your swing. And this is just giving data to Judge so that he understands that. So he doesn't have to go just by, what he thinks is happening. That's the cool thing about being in the big leagues is that you can get all of this information. And then if we go to this one, wow. So these are crazy, like bonker numbers right here. So this is slugging percentage again. If you throw the ball anywhere middle in and down, he is going to destroy it, right? These balls are just killed. If you want to get him out, or at least get him to not slug as much, these are his lowest slugging numbers, right? He only slugs 136 on the pitch in the zone. That's a strike, but it's just up. And then the cold zones are the pitch is up. And then if you go down and away, which most guys have trouble with that, especially a guy that's 6'7". But if you throw him, sliders especially or breaking balls down away, he's not going to slug those. But you can't throw him here. And if you're Judge and you're early in the count or you're ahead in the count, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for this. You're laying off this, and you're laying off the balls down and away. So kind of a cool graphic to check out. And we'll see how it'll be interesting to see how the Dodgers attack him. I'm assuming they'll attack him the way, you said he's been struggling lately.
Yeah, he wakes up this series.
You think so?
Yeah, he's been struggling long enough.
Okay. Nick says he wakes up this series. We'll see. I've watched some of his games, but I didn't catch a ton of the Yankees Guardians series. But we'll see what the Dodgers do. So understanding your swing, matching your approach to the way your swing works, I think is the main key.
Stick to the approach.
Yes, and stick to the approach. Cool. That's all we got. Also, we just started remote training for players all over the country. I've been asked to do this for like forever, for years and years and years. Haven't done it. Just opened it up. 15 players. First 15 players will get spots. If you want more info, go to the description box down below. Click the link there. It's going to give you all the information. If you sign up, again, once the 15 spots are gone, that's all we've got because we want to be able to give individualized attention to all those players. So that's it. Go Yankees, and we'll see you guys in the next video.